Hello and welcome back to Real World Magic, where we make your life more magical. My name is Neil Trigger and I'm going to be your host. And today we're going to be talking about creating worlds. How can you make reality be whatever you want it to be? It's not exactly like Harry Potter or Dark Phoenix or any other creationist theory. You're not going to have 6 days followed by a rest day in which to create the heavens and the earth. I'm talking about real world magic. How does that work? How can you make someone think one thing is real and yet another reality is going on at the same time? Well, the answer is with rapport. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into rapport, not in too much detail. I'm actually preparing another video about rapport, and when it's done, I'll put the link up here. But in the meantime, I need to talk about 3 things. They're called deletion, distortion, and generalization, and they go like this. Deletion occurs to whittle down all the data that we don't need to concentrate on. We're being bombarded with so much data all the time. Our brain would melt and drip out of our ears if we didn't ignore at least some of it. In fact, we need to get rid of most of it before we can make sensible decisions, become sensible human beings. It's an interesting psycho-philosophical debate. What is reality? Surely we all have different experiences of life, and that's just common sense. My eyes are not the same as yours, nor do my eyes see the same way as yours, or the same subjects. From one angle, a ball may be green, but the same ball seen from an opposite side may be red. It's the same ball, but we might both swear blind that our reality is correct. I hope that makes sense because it's fundamental to the rest of this philosophy. Reality is constructed in the mind of the person observing it. That's why when you see a ghost, it's hard to argue with it. When you see a ghost, then see a ghost is your reality. To then tell you that see a ghost actually means see a splodge of beer on a throwaway camera lens projected onto a photograph, it's too much of a stretch because I'm already breaking an already constructed reality. The example of seeing a beer smudge and assuming that that's actually a ghost happens because the details of the construction of the ghost are then deleted from the final evidence. And once deletion occurs, it's very, very hard to get the details back. Magicians know this principle all too well and try to confuse essential elements of a trick using linguistic deceptions, secret moves, and audience management. They do this so that the spectators cannot reconstruct how the trick was done. It's not so much of a stretch to then apply this to ghosts. I invented a magic trick about 8 years ago now called card through beer mat. The effect is one of the most powerful in my act, and I've actually sold the trick internationally. The effect goes something like this. I make a selected card vanish from the deck and appear in my wallet. I then push the card through a beer mat so it appears under the beer mat. I offer to repeat that trick by pushing it through the beer mat again, but it gets stuck inside the beer mat. You can even see it inside of the card of the beer mat. I then tear the beer mat in half, remove the card and hand it to the spectator to keep. The fact that I have the card inside the beer mat from the very beginning of the trick is deleted by their minds, and similarly, the force that allows me to control the card that they choose is also deleted because of a time delay between the selection and revelation. Added to this, I also keep reinforcing that their card was a free choice, and it wasn't. There are millions of tricks like this, and magicians use other principles like the big action covers the smaller action to harness the power of deletion. For example, if I want to toss a coin into my pocket, I might throw one coin into the air so the spectator's eyes follow that coin up while I flick the other coin across and into my pocket. It's a knacky move, but it's a fantastic one at swapping out one coin for another, and the smaller movement is entirely deleted by the spectator so that they cannot hope to reconstruct the truth. Most of the time we don't need to pay attention to simple things like whether or not the floor is solid. If the floor was outside of what we expect, then we pay attention to it. For example, if a concrete floor started to move as we place our foot upon it, we treat that rather more cautiously because it's unexpected. One problem with deletion is that it is itself a misleading term. It suggests that great swathes of information are deleted, and that's not entirely true. What happens is that our unconscious mind takes over, monitoring the situation to make sure that things do not change from what we expect. If the floor suddenly got hot, started to move, or even shouted "ouch" every time we stepped on it, then it would take more prominent a role in our consciousness again. But for now, let's just ignore it. Deletion is a principle that we can utilise to fool people into believing things are paranormal. It's a powerful tool when used properly, and we'll probably come back to that in later videos. Now this video is actually getting rather longer than I had planned, so I'm going to cut it there and do the other two in parts 2 and 3. Look out for those. If you're watching this on the day of release, it will be tomorrow and the following day, but if not, then just click here. Thanks very much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe for more of the same, and click that bell button to be notified of future uploads. Thanks very much. Have a good day.